A woman has died after falling from a 9-storey building in Western Sydney overnight. Live to Today reporter Jack Hahn in Parramatta. Jack, a large crime scene has been set up.
You're right about that, Maggie, and right now a man is answering questions as police try to figure out what exactly has happened here. To do that, they have set up a large crime scene. You can see it here. This is on River Road West on the way to James Ruse Drive. We have more than 10 police vehicles there as we continue zooming in. They are centering their attention underneath that blue police rescue tent which has been established out the front of the apartment complex. Emergency services scrambled to this address in the 1 o'clock hour this morning, finding a woman in a very bad way. And despite the best efforts of police and paramedics, she died here at the scene. Now, how exactly this woman has fallen off the balcony remains the subject of this police investigation this morning, but officers have stressed that it is too early to say what exactly has happened.
At least 10 people, including 2 children, have been killed in a shooting rampage in Montenegro in southern Europe. Authorities say the shooting followed a bar brawl where the gunman shot the owner and his family, as well as his own family members. The gunman then continued to shoot people at 3 more locations in the capital city of Cetinje. The attacker has been identified as 45-year-old Ako Martinovic. The man died on his way to hospital from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Montenegro's Prime Minister says the attack is shocking.
Ужасна трагедия.
This is a horrific tragedy in Cetinje. It shocked us all. Currently, all of our police forces, including special police, are dispatched to the area. Unfortunately, we also have injured people. They are here, behind me, inside the clinical centre. Doctors are fighting to save their lives. They are all in the surgery rooms, and we hope that they will pull through. We hope the doctors will save their lives. That's happening at the moment.
A massive undersea volcano located off the US West Coast is poised to erupt, with scientists warning of imminent geological activity. The axial seamount, situated approximately 300 miles from Oregon's coastline, has been exhibiting alarming signs of potential eruption. Scientific monitoring has revealed an unprecedented surge in seismic activity, with over 500 earthquakes recorded daily in the region. Researchers from Oregon State University confirm the volcano is currently at 95% of its pre-eruption inflation threshold, indicating an impending geological event. Bill Chadwick, a leading marine geologist, stated, "Axial seamount has erupted 3 times in the last 25 years, and current data suggests we're approaching another critical moment." The volcano's historical pattern of eruptions in 1998, 2011 and 2015 provides crucial context for understanding its current state. The volcano's unique location within the Ocean Observatory Initiative's monitoring network allows scientists to track its development in real time. Advanced sensors are capturing minute changes in seafloor deformation, seismic activity, and hydrothermal system dynamics. Unlike previous catastrophic volcanic events, this underwater eruption is not expected to generate tsunamis or cause widespread destruction. However, the potential impact on marine ecosystems remains a significant area of scientific concern. Recent expeditions, including a 2024 research mission aboard the RV Atlantis, have deployed sophisticated underwater vehicles to gather comprehensive data. These autonomous and remotely operated vehicles are collecting critical information about the volcano's current state. Seismic data reveals a dramatic increase in earthquake frequencies, climbing from fewer than 500 daily to potentially 2,000 per 24-hour period. This pattern closely mirrors the activity observed before the 2015 eruption, raising concerns among marine geologists. The upcoming eruption could have profound implications for marine ecosystems and scientific understanding. Researchers anticipate several significant impacts, including potential microbial blooms and substantial changes to hydrothermal systems surrounding the axial seamount. During the eruption, scientists expect to observe extensive microbial activity triggered by increased carbon dioxide output and venting volume. These biological transformations will create dramatic shifts in the local marine environment, offering unprecedented insights into underwater ecosystem dynamics. The hydrothermal systems surrounding the volcano are showing remarkable changes, with fluid temperatures at key vents indicating increased internal volcanic activity. Researchers will be closely monitoring these systems to understand how volcanic events reshape marine habitats and biological communities. Advanced sensor networks and autonomous underwater vehicles will capture intricate details of the eruption process. These technologies will track minute seafloor deformations, document lava flow patterns, and record the complex geological transformations occurring beneath the ocean's surface. The Mixed Frequency Earthquake, MEF, signals provide critical predictive information for scientists. These unique seismic patterns, which typically peak approximately 1 hour before lava reaches the sea floor, offer valuable insights into the mechanics of submarine volcanic eruptions. Scientists predict the eruption window spans between 2022 and 2026, based on comprehensive modeling of seafloor deformation data. The precise timing remains uncertain, but the signs of imminent activity are increasingly clear. The axial seamount represents a critical research opportunity for understanding submarine volcanic processes. Its sophisticated monitoring infrastructure provides unprecedented insights into underwater geological dynamics, potentially revolutionizing our understanding of marine volcanic systems. While coastal communities need not fear immediate danger, the scientific community remains vigilant. Researchers continue to track the volcano's development, preparing to document and analyze what could be a significant underwater geological event. This ongoing observation demonstrates the remarkable advances in marine geological monitoring, offering unprecedented real-time insights into the dynamic processes occurring beneath the ocean's surface.
Honduran president has issued a strong warning to the United States during a New Year's address. She declared that in face of mass expulsion of Honduran migrants from the U.S., the country's bases would lose all reasons to exist in Honduras. She claimed that U.S. bases in Honduras have been maintained for decades without any payment from Washington. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, who is set to take office in January, has promised to carry out mass deportations. Honduras and other Central American countries which have their nationals living in the U.S. for generations are bracing for a potential influx of vulnerable migrants, a situation they are ill-prepared to handle. The Honduran president said such a move will affect U.S. ties with Honduras, also jeopardize the military cooperation between the two countries.
Honduran people, I want to express that we hope the new U.S. administration of the democratically elected President Donald Trump will be open to constructive and friendly dialogue and will not take unnecessary reprisals against our migrants.
According to U.S. government figures, approximately 560,000 Hondurans, that's about 5% of the country's population, live in the U.S. without legal status. Of those migration, experts estimate about 150,000 can be tracked down and rapidly expelled.
Xi Jinping 等党和国家领
我在北京向大家致以美好的祝福。
亲切握手，畅想人心同在和热烈掌声。
It's New Year's Eve. Most of the world is eagerly waiting for 2025. What will the new year bring us? How will we tackle the challenges and opportunities ahead? For most of us, the answers to these questions come from self-reflection. But that's not the case in China, because there the answers are given to the people, shoved down their throats by their President Xi Jinping, who has an annual tradition. He gives a speech every New Year's Eve. He tells his people what to expect and what to do in the year ahead. And Xi delivered his speech a few hours ago. Most of it was business as usual, a rerun of his greatest hits. He said no one can stop China's reunification with Taiwan. He says this every year, but this year the message was softer, we thought. He did not threaten to invade. He did not dial up the rhetoric. Instead, this is what he said.
Chinese people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait are one family. No one can sever our blood ties, and no one can stop the historical trend of the reunification of the motherland.
This is a far cry from last year's message. Back then, he was amping up tensions, threatening war because Taiwan was going to polls. Xi Jinping wanted to scare Taiwan, scare the people into voting out the incumbent government. It did not work. But Xi Jinping is not the type to change his ways. He did not threaten this year, not because he's had a change of heart. Most likely not. He just has bigger fish to fry at the moment. He needs to deal with his own economy first. Xi Jinping spent a good amount of time talking about China's economy. He insisted that it was on an upward trajectory. He highlighted the electric vehicle industry in particular. He said China has produced 10 million EVs for the first time this year. It was a matter of pride for him. Though he conveniently left out that the market was facing headwinds, with the European Union slapping tariffs on Chinese EVs. But this was his New Year speech. I suppose it was more about vibes than hard facts. And it's not just European tariffs that he's going to be wary of. Next year will usher in the second Donald Trump presidency in the US, and Trump has promised blanket tariffs on Chinese goods, ranging from 10 to a whopping 60%. Xi Jinping knows that this is coming, and he acknowledged the difficulties that lie ahead. Most of his speech was sunshine and rainbows, but a small part acknowledged the thunderstorm ahead. In fact, here's a rough translation of what he said. The Chinese economy now faces some new conditions, including challenges of uncertainties in the external environment and pressure to transform from old growth drivers into new ones. But we can prevail with our hard work. As always, we grow in the wind and rain, and we get stronger through hard times. We must be confident. That was Xi's attempt to reassure his citizens. It said a storm is coming, but China will be able to get by with hard work. Let's look beyond the motivational pep talk and try and decode what he means. He mentioned uncertainties in the external environment. Take that to mean external factors outside his control, which is probably a reference to Donald Trump and the tariffs he's going to impose. He says these uncertainties put pressure on China, forcing it to switch from old growth drivers to new ones. What were China's old growth drivers? A key driver was exports. The export of cheap Chinese goods to the US and other Western nations. This has been powering China's growth for years, but exports will nosedive once the Trump tariffs kick in. So what then? Well, that's where Xi Jinping's new growth drivers come into play. If the US market is closed, China will have to find other markets, new export destinations. The rest of the world, especially the global south, should get ready for this. We may become dumping grounds for Chinese goods. Other than exports, China doesn't have much going well at the moment. Domestic demand is still subdued. The property sector is still in a mess. Beijing tried to address these issues over the last few months. They introduced an economic stimulus package, which helped steady the ship a bit. But the stimulus won't be enough to power them in 2025, and Xi Jinping knows that. And that is what he's getting his people ready for. That's the key takeaway from today's speech.